Let's solve this quadratic equation by completing the square. So I want two things to happen here. First of all, I want the constant term by itself on one side of the equation. Let's go ahead and accomplish that. That's 2a squared minus 4a is equal to negative 5. Also, check and see that the coefficient of a squared is 1. It's not 1 in this case, so I need to make it 1 by dividing through by that coefficient. I will divide each term in this equation by the coefficient of a squared, which is 2. Divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. So I'll have a squared minus 2a, leave yourself a space, is equal to negative 5 halves. Once again, two things. You want the constant term by itself, and you need the coefficient of the squared variable to be 1. I've done both of those things. Now I'm ready to complete the square. And how do we complete the square? Take the coefficient of a in this case. We want half of it, so I'll divide by 2. Half of it's negative 1, and then I'll take that negative 1 and square it, and that is 1. That's the number that I add to both sides of the equation. So plus 1 plus 1. Now the left side should be a perfect square trinomial. It factors as it factors as a minus 1 times a minus 1. And let's go ahead and start adding these two numbers. That's negative 5 over 2 plus 1 is 2 over 2. So the left side is a minus 1 quantity squared is equal to the right side is negative 3 halves. And this is kind of what I call the halfway point. You're ready now for the square root property, which says that a minus 1 itself then is equal to plus or minus the square root of that number on the right, negative 3 over 2. Or a is equal to 1 plus or minus this square root. Let's go ahead and start cleaning up. For example, this negative, that's negative 1 times 3 over 2, so I can write that as I, and then I have the square root of 3 over 2, so I'll write it as the square root of 3 over the square root of 2 for a moment, because I'm going to take a step and rationalize. I'll multiply the numerator and denominator by the square root of 2. So what do I have? I have 1 plus or minus I. In the numerator, that's the square root of 6. In the denominator, square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2. And then I'm going to go ahead and take a step and get a common denominator and put these two terms together. 1 is 2 over 2 plus or minus I square root of 6 over 2. So we have what? We have 2 plus or minus I square root of 6 all over 2. Those are two solutions to our original quadratic equation.